At the time of recording this video, this stock just pumped 29% in one day. It's a stock I covered a couple weeks ago on this channel. They just released their earnings report and we're gonna go over all the key information right now. Let's do it. What's going on, everybody? My name is Matthew. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are talking all things Celsius Holdings, ticker symbol CELH. I'm here to do my best to explain why I think it popped 29% after earnings. It's all very exciting. We're currently up over 40% on this position, and I know some of you did do your own research and actually got in at around $20 per share, right below my cost basis, and congratulations on those sweet entries. If you got in without doing your own research, shame on you, but congratulations anyway. If you haven't already seen my first video on Celsius, you should go and check that out right here. If you have already, let's get right into why this stock decided to rocket up this past Thursday. Give me the format. First, we're going to talk about financial updates. There were a lot of really great financial improvements this past quarter. Then second, we're going to talk about updates regarding the overall business. So no time wasted. Let's get right into part one. Financial updates. Celsius beat Wall Street's expectations on both EPS and on revenue, with another profitable quarter and revenue of $36.8 million. This revenue represented an increase of 80% year over year, which is amazing and also very believable for this high growth company. If we break it down, they posted 60% growth in North America, which was credited to new distribution and double-digit growth in their existing accounts. For example, they grew from being available in 74,000 outlets to 79,000 outlets. But here's the most exciting part in my opinion. International revenues increased 172% to $10 million from just $3.7 million a year ago. This was primarily due to their Nordic revenues increasing by 182%, making up 9.5 million of the 10 million in international revenues. And this huge increase in Nordic operations is because they consolidated operations in Funk Food. In other words, they acquired this Nordic distributor called Funk Food in October 2019, and they quote, consolidated it. And to me, that just means that they got all their ducks in a row and now they are ready to take off by like 182%. Now, why is this spike in international revenue so exciting to me? Well, besides the fact that international growth is a key to long-term growth in my opinion, in our first video covering Celsius, we were expecting a sharp increase in international revenues. Let me just show you a clip, it's a lot easier. The silver lining in this graph is that dark orange bar on the far right represents revenue for the 6 months, not a year, ending June 2020, whereas the other bars represent entire years. Yet in these 6 months ended June 30th, 2020, internationally, Celsius already produced more revenue than all of 2019 in international markets. So maybe we're starting to see the beginnings of the explosive growth we were hoping for abroad. But let me blow your mind some more. If we zoom out and take a look back at that same annual revenues chart from the second quarter, but we look at the revenues for the whole company. If we draw in the new revenues from Q3, you really get an idea of how quickly Celsius is growing their revenues. And on top of this, we have an entire fourth quarter of revenues to add for 2020. Now, looking at their balance sheet, their SG&A expenses, or selling, general, and administrative expenses, did increase by over 100%, and that is due to the consolidation of Funk Foods. But I'm not too worried about this because their net profit margins increased to 12.9% as compared to just 4.7% a year ago. Also, it makes sense to me that in order to build out a distributor and really integrate them into your company, you are probably going to have to hire a few employees. I think it's a very necessary cost and it justifies itself based on the revenues they're bringing in. And the last thing I'll say about Funk Foods, you know what? Screw the international revenues. This is the most exciting thing from this past quarter. Celsius paid off the bonds that were issued in connection to the acquisition of Funk Foods in 2019. In other words, their balance sheet is now debt free. And if you've watched my channel for long enough, you know I love a company that is debt free. And I do understand that debt can be used effectively in order to increase operations and expand the business faster than you might usually be able to. But now not only is this company debt free, but they're still growing incredibly fast on their own and they're profitable. And quick note, this payment happened as of October 30th, so that's why the debt is still showing up on the balance sheet, which is as of September 30th. But as of today, they are paid off. Finally, in Q2, they posted 1.55 million in net income, but in Q3, they posted 4.75 million in net income. And compare this to the 961,000 in net income a year ago. I think that's pretty dang good. All right, moving away from financials, let's talk about part 2, updates to their overall business. Being a drink that heavily targets a more active demographic, the closure of gyms has not helped. Celsius's fitness sales channels were actually down 17% year over year. But not to worry, that was offset by a 141% increase in e-commerce sales. And to me, this shows significant brand recognition and loyalty. In other words, their customers couldn't find it in their gyms or where they usually go to work out, so they went online and bought more anyway. Now, another key part of Celsius's long-term business model is DSD, or direct-to-store delivery. This is when goods travel directly from the supplier to the retail store. For example, a Celsius drink traveling directly to a specific Walmart, Target, or any other one of their vendors. Not only does this save a lot of time and money for the retailer because they don't have to worry about warehousing and those logistics, but Celsius points out that DSD is better for store execution, better shelf placement, higher product velocity, which is essentially how quickly things are being sold and moved, increased distribution, and cost savings for Celsius as well. So it would be safe to assume that more stores doing DSD is better for Celsius. Well, they already have vendors like CVS in the DSD flow, but Celsius will be transitioning their remaining 50% of Walmart locations to DSD in the beginning of 2021, and they already transitioned 1,200 Target stores to DSD through September and October, so we should see most of the growth from that transition in Q4 results. And fun fact, there's actually a shortage of cans in North America right now. Yes, the physical cans that the drinks come in. But don't worry, since Celsius is now an international business, they have found other sources in Europe and other places abroad to fulfill their orders. This should have no impact on their ability to meet demand. It might impact their margins just a little bit in Q4. In other news, Celsius released some new flavors like strawberry marshmallow and blueberry frost in their Nordic markets, hence the different branding. And they also launched several new flavors of their on-the-go Celsius powder sticks domestically. So a lot is happening with Celsius right now, and this is definitely a quarter to celebrate, but this is still in the early stages. This is a long-term game, and it's a volatile stock. I'm sure many of you are wondering, am I going to buy or sell after this huge run-up? I am definitely not going to sell after seeing what happened this quarter. I'm going to continue doing research on this one. I'm actually going to focus more on the bearish case because I know there are some bearish articles out there and I really want to dig into those and understand them from their perspective. If I find anything interesting there, I'll be sure to let you all know. If you found any value in this video, and I hope you did, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and check out a quote of the day. You might just learn something. Make sure to follow me on Instagram for daily posts about my portfolio, stocks I'm watching, and all that good stuff. If you're watching at this point in the video, you are the real MVPs. Don't forget your peace and thank yous.